Morning of day 5 of my vacation. Driving over to Sharon's garden again. Excuse me. I just got up. Look at this guy. There's you a good close-up view. Hello. Honestly, he could care less that I'm here. They're so used to traffic going by. If you were to try to walk up to it, he'd probably shy away. Either that or he'd step on you. But they're so used to vehicles stopping, they don't even pay attention to vehicles anymore. They don't care. Anyway, there's another one. There's a wallow. I asked the guy yesterday or the other day about the buffalo wallows. It's basically a dust bath. Gets them a coating of dust on their backs, and it deters insects from getting on their backs. And I've done videos where I've showed the buffalo wallows. Let me just do this. I've done a couple of videos where I've showed those buffalo wallows I found, and that's pretty much what I'd figured, but I just didn't know for sure. It's a dust bath. Coating of dust, keep the insects off. So I'm heading over, here's Elk Mountain. I'm heading over to that Sharon's Garden, the same place I hiked with Randy the Ranger. I'm going to do it again myself because there's some other places in there. It's a huge place and it needs more exploring. I'm late starting today. I had the best night of sleep I've had. It only got down to right now it's 49 degrees, and it was very comfortable last night. So it's 9 o'clock. I'm just now on the move over here. So in a bit, headed over, and again, I just getting over here by, and there's about a half dozen elk. These are all bulls. There's a herd of about a dozen cow elks, as the guy called them. All female elks. That's the ones that don't have the antlers, is the cow elks. I've seen them 3 times, but it's so hard to get any pictures or video of them because they're so skittish and they run off just as soon. This is over here behind the fence. I can't even get up to these guys. But I know this is shaking, but I'm kind of holding here with my hand outstretched, and I've got this on full zoom. Well, not full zoom, but anyway. There's 6 elk. There's one sitting here looking at me. That's about the best view of them I'm going to get. Oh, zoom out a little bit. Well, that's it for them. I don't know what the significance of it is, but I'm always the first person to show up to these things. Maybe I'm late this morning. Of course, there's the bridge that goes up to Elk Mountain, and to go to Sharon's Garden or that other trail. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the other trail. The one that goes back in the canyon. Either one. You go over here where it says "Do not block gate." That's actually the trailhead here. This is the first morning I'm not even wearing a jacket. I decided to go ahead and wear my jeans as opposed to my shorts because there's places up here where you gotta, get through some brush, and both shorts, your legs just getting all scratched up. But right now it's about an even 50 degrees, but it's supposed to get up to into the low 70s today. So, well, this is the first creek crossing you come to, although I have yet to come back in here when there's been any water in this creek. I mean, I'm sure it gets water from time to time. This is this is just half a mile in. Half a mile from the parking area. You get to this first creek crossing, and the trail comes from right there and just go right across the creek. Don't even stop. Just as I start this video, the jets are starting to circle overhead again. Anyway, This is coming up to this second creek crossing. It's this one. The reason I said just keep going at the first one is just this one you got this little thing that goes on here, but just turn right and come down here. Now from this point, you do have a couple decisions. There's a trail right there, which you can't really see. If you're standing here, you can see the trail. It's that brown blob you see in the middle. That's a trail. And that's the one that I took to go back into the, the Sharon's Garden trail that goes through the gorge over there. And then there's another trail right there, which I think is going to do roughly the same thing, although I'm not certain of that. I know for certain that trail goes back through the gorge, the one I went where I only made it halfway. This trail over here to the right goes into the Sharon's Garden area, where me and Ranger Randy went a couple of days ago. So this is the second creek crossing, so it's just a little confusing. That trail goes through the gorge, that one goes, I'm not sure. And then this one over here on the right goes back into the Sharon's Garden area. And this is just like, 7/10 of a mile in. Okay, I am at exactly the 1 mile mark. And just coincidentally, the trail splits here. I didn't remember for sure which way the trail went, which way I went with Randy. So I checked my GPS from the last hike, and we went this way. This is the southwest. This trail that goes to the southeast, it looks like it's heading over to the gorge there. So I'm going here to the southwest because the areas I saw when I was hiking with Randy that I wanted to explore are further along this trail where Randy and I went. The one that goes back through the gorge, I want to say that it actually is called the Sharon's Garden Trail. I'm confused about that. I can't check it right now. I don't have a data signal. So just for my own, I'm going to refer to that as the Treasure Lake Trail because it goes back to Treasure Lake. I'm not saying it's called the Treasure Lake Trail. That's what I'm going to call it. To differentiate here, this trail up in Sharon's Garden. So I'm going to refer to that one, oh, there's a nice view, as the Treasure Lake Trail. Just so I don't, confuse it with this trail here that goes actually back through the Sharon's Garden area. I'll have to get to a data signal, and it may be that they are just poorly named. Anyway, this is where I'm headed. Now I've got this thing on absolute full zoom, and that's way off in the distance. That's what Ranger Randy was referring to as the crab's eyes. And in this light you can really see. Why? Because you notice that there's, like each rock has an iris in it. The whole rock is the eye itself, and then you can see they've each got a little eyeball in the eye. Very curious. That's way back in there. I've got this thing on absolute full zoom, although you should be able to get a good enough view of that. I'm surprised it's not shaking more than it is. I'm not going to try to do a 360 with this zoom, and I wonder if I can zoom in even more. No, that's it. So anyway, that's the crab's eyes, and that's just like 1.1 miles in here in this Sharon's Garden. That is extremely curious, isn't it? I'm going to stop this and take this zoom off. I'm standing on exactly the same spot I was just standing on. I haven't moved an inch. I've just taken the zoom off, and those crab's eyes are on that peak right in the middle of the screen here. I'm zooming in what I can here, but you can't hardly see anything. So that's why I had to take the zoom off. Because there's something else here I want to show you real quick. First, let me just do a 360 from where I am, because this is gorgeous. Again, I'm maybe 1.1, maybe 1.15 miles into this. So for everything I've got, it's pretty easy. I mean, this is gorgeous. So there's the 360, and everything I want to show you is also right here is what Randy tells me is an old mine. Now, I always pictured, let me back off here, I always pictured a mine as being a hole in the side of a hill. Well, this is just a hole in the ground. because they come out here, I mean, this is an old mine, but they come out here looking for gold, quartz bearing gold. Remember, Randy and I went back to that big quartz outcrop, and you see there's some quartz, you know, there's things of quartz here. But he showed me a few of these. This is an old mine where they were looking for quartz bearing gold. Don't know how much luck they had, but, you know, it's curious. I never would have figured that for a mine. I might have wondered what it was, but I wouldn't have figured myself it would be a mine, but that's what it is. I'm about, well, according to GPS, I'm 1.36 miles in, and to a point where the trail, you get this little creek here, you see a trail that goes to the east there, and you know, there's a little gorge there that goes up. I bet you, it's choked with trees, it probably wouldn't be any fun, but I bet you if you really wanted to, you could hike up through that gorge. But I'm heading to the west here again. This is where Randy and I went, and I want to work my way back in there because there are some canyons up in here that I want to get into that Randy and I didn't get into. We're starting to get into this section where everything burned over as well. And as always, I've got my friend the Jets circling overhead, giving me company. Another thing that strikes me here is like these, notice how the number of these creeks, they're crystal clear. Up around Tulsa, you don't get this so much. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's absolutely crystal clear. I'd have no problem. I would treat it, but I wouldn't worry about filtering it. I mean, I'd put that in a water bottle and treat it. I actually carry water treatment, you know, stuff with me. I wouldn't hesitate to just treat that and drink it. Doesn't even need to be filtered, in my opinion. It's crystal clear. Beautiful. Might also add, I'm nowhere near the place yet, so you're not going to get any clues. Oh, here we got some more of the crystal. But where that big, huge crystal, the quartz, where that big, huge quartz outcrop was, I'm not going to show how to get back in there. Because to me, that is, I mean, you've got places like this, you know, here's a, you know, this is a good size, this is a softball sized lump of it. But that big, huge, solid 50-foot long outcrop, and then the tube that comes out of the wall, it's very hard to find that by yourself. I would never find it by myself. As I said, Randy, he couldn't find it by himself. He had to be showed. I'm not going to show that. I'm not going to show where it goes, where the, because I don't think it's something that a lot of people need to know about. Because, you know, it's kind of cool, and I think it needs to be mostly left alone. Look at this. There's a big old, that's a big softball-sized chunk of quartz right there. Decided I need to be good to my word here. I said I would have no problem just treating this stuff and drinking it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to filter it. There's some stuff flying around here. There's also little critters swimming. But I'm going to there we go. Shoot. I'm trying to spill this so I can get the cap on it. Right now I got crud in the cap. Alright. If I can get up without falling in the creek. There you go. Whoa. I'm still trying to fall in the creek. That is absolutely crystal clear. I mean, seriously, that's just crystal clear. So I'm going to treat this and drink it. I'm not going to treat, I'm going to, it takes 5 minutes. I'd have to stop for 5 minutes because you gotta, I don't have any of the drops with me. I just got a small bottle of the pills. And you gotta drop a pill in there and let it sit for 5 minutes, and you gotta loosen the caps and shake it so you get some of the stuff in the threads of the cap to make sure that's not contaminated, you know. I don't want to stop just for 5 minutes right here, so I'm going to keep going.
But I'm sure as heck going to treat that and drink it, and then I'll tell you how it tastes. Actually, I decided I am going to stop. And I carry a bottle of this stuff. You can get this stuff at Walmart. It's potable aqua. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little bottle. And it's just these little iodine tabs. It's even turning my skin kind of purple where it was sitting. So I'm going to go ahead and treat this here. Because it occurs to me I got to go to the bathroom too. So I'm just going to, I know you can't see anything. Dang, and of course I dropped the pill. Make sure my hands are dry. Alright, so the pill's in there. I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes. And try not to dump it. And then I'll come back. Okay, so here is that water I treat. Now when I treat that, it did turn it slightly orange. So I think these are iodine pills. Now you loosen the cap. And then you... Now I've had the cap tight, I've shaken the bottle up to make sure everything's... You loosen the cap and you squeeze a little bit. And then you tighten the cap again. That's so you can get some of that iodine, some of the treated stuff in the threads of the cap. Otherwise, even though you've treated the water itself, there might still be contaminants in the little bit on the cap, and that could be dangerous. So that's the proper way to do that. Now I gotta let that sit for half an hour, and then I'll try it out later in this hike and tell you how it tastes. I'm 1.67 miles in, and you come to a point where the trail branches again. It's a trail that runs up here to the east, and then there's a trail that runs, well, it's over here, but it runs up more to the west. Now Randy and I went over there to the west, and I am going to go over there, but I'm going to walk up in here and see what this one is. Oh, and by the way, those crab's eyes are right up on top there. You're only seeing the one on the right because I'm over around the side of them now, but those are some cool rocks. I'm going to go ahead and we'll hike up in here a little bit and see where this trail goes. But I do want to go on this one over here. Let's see where this one goes. Again, this is 1.67 miles in, and I'm taking the trail to the east, the trail we did not take the other day. Well, I tell you, I took that trail to the west, and I'm glad I did, man. If I ever decide to go backpacking in here, I think I found my camp. Because there's a nice level patch of ground. I'm in this little grotto here, and the trail keeps going. I think there's those crab's eyes up there. You zoom in as much as I can here. To get the full zoom, you have to actually zoom in before you start recording, but there's those crab's eyes. But oh yeah, I mean, this isn't far enough in that you would want to camp, but boy, I tell you, if you were just kind of like exploring and you wanted to come back to this spot, you know, whatever, and there's lots of places to go. This is a great little camping spot here. But I'm going to keep following this west trail because I think it's going to take me where I want to go, but just by a different route. This is a cool trail that's winding its way up here into the rocks. There's the crab's eyes up there, and I'm almost looking at them from the perspective when I first got on the trail here. I've hiked, I didn't check my GPS, not much more than a quarter of a mile, you know, from where where the trail bisected. And it's just going up here into the rocks. I'm not sure where it's going. I'm going to find out. This is a cool little hike. There's those crab's eyes again, and I didn't realize this trail, it's coming right up here, right under them. Now I'm kind of over on the left side of them. You start out facing them, then you get to the right side, then I'm coming over here on the left side. This trail is just winding up. Let me get on this zoom a little bit. This trail is just winding up here into this canyon. Actually, this is exactly the canyon I was trying to get into, but I was going to go from the other side. I have a feeling I'm going to be going in a loop. Look at this sideways strata there. That's cool. Yeah, nice view of where I've been. That's where I've hiked down from into the valley floor. Still not all that far, only about a half mile from that turnoff. You could go over just straight east there if you wanted to, probably, although the trail leads up here. But looks like the trail just kind of keeps going up into here. That's where I'm going. want to show you this thing. Turn your head to the right. That thing is about 50 foot tall, 60, maybe so. It's a big sucker. I had to turn the camera this way just to get it all. That's a big old thing there. Trail, well, let me just walk a bit. Trail splits. Part of it goes that way. It goes this way. I'm starting to develop a sneaky suspicion here. Let's just go over to the rim here. Trying to see if anything looks. There's a road over there. At least that looks like a road. I don't know what the road would be. Let me just take a look around. I was trying to see if I could see that quartz outcrop because I'm actually getting close to it without even trying. That's where the trail is leading me. But I don't see it. Although there's lots of places in here you could go. But, God, isn't this gorgeous? Pause. Found another good camping spot. This is more close to a place where you might want to camp, although it doesn't take that long to get here. I am, I can't believe this. I'm only 2.1 miles by trail from the parking lot. And it's taken me an hour and 53 minutes to get here. Not that I've been in any particular hurry, I've been taking my time. 2.11 miles? You're kidding. Huh, that's surprising. Oh well, would be a nice place to camp if you found yourself here though, because it's nice and flat, plenty of places, although there's lots of buffalo dung. So, I'm not saying you wouldn't have a visitor, but it's a gorgeous place. And this, God, this place is amazing. Look at this. You know, I mean, this is where I'm headed into, this area here. That's where I came from. You can't see back over there right now, but man, this is just gorgeous. Let me show you a 360 here. At first I thought this trail was going to take me over to where that quartz outcrop was. You know, that was supposed to be secretive. It looked like it's heading that general direction, but it's completely veered away. I'm nowhere near it. I'm not going to get anywhere near it on this hike. But that's north, and I want to see if I can't find a way through the north there. Back down. This is a steep hike. But this is definitely one that I will save. You know, this GPS track is definitely one that I will save, because if you save the track, you can come out and follow the same GPS track, which is ultra cool. GPS is a great tool, just don't ever make a mistake of relying on it completely. Always bring a compass, you know, always take note of your surroundings, you know, the usual thing. Just use GPS as a tool, but just don't use it as your only thing. And this is just an absolutely amazing place. I don't know if people come back in here. Boy, this is just gorgeous. One good thing about GPS is you can use it when you're recording your track to find new routes. I'm always looking for a loop hike. Like that thing I did with Randy, the only thing about it is we had to hike back out exactly the same way. So I'm always trying to find a loop. Well, with GPS, when you record your track, you know, and you see that red line, and there's a little marker showing which way you are, or which way you're going. So I could see I wasn't that far. I wanted to see if I could make a loop. I ended up climbing down out of this draw here, which wasn't actually all that hard. Not hard at all. I mean, you wouldn't want to have, shorts on. You probably want to have some jeans, because there were some brambles and such, but it really wasn't that difficult. And I'm not very far from where I'm going to intersect the trail I took to get up here. So it will be a loop. I'm not sure how far am I? At this very moment, this has not been a particularly long hike so far. It's taken time. Well, actually, you can see. Well, you probably can't see. Well, yeah, you can see well enough. That's see the red line. I don't have a signal, but you don't need a signal for GPS. I'll do a little curlicue here at the end, but that's where I'm headed, and find my. Just so, I mean, I'll come back up here again in a couple of days. Oh, I'm 2.65 miles in, although I'm not sure at what point I'll intersect the trail, so I'm not sure exactly how long this hike's going to end up being. But now let me just see here. I've seen people, this looks like one of those things that you buy at the store and put in your house, and the water, you know, flows down the little steps. Oh, I'm standing in, sorry, I see I'm standing in the shadow. I don't know how well that's coming through, but it's just, for one thing, you're seeing straight to the bottom. You can't even see the water. The water's just so crystal clear. I mean, that's just, I mean, God, I'm impressed with how clear this water is. I haven't drunk this other stuff. I will here before too long. But I'm still working my way down through this, actually, this little creek bed, back down to the trail I took up. Well, this is turning out to be better than I thought. I was afraid I'd meet the old, my track up too soon. Now I came from the other side of that ridge. I climbed down through a cut, although it's farther over. I climbed down through a cut and then followed a riverbed or a creek bed down to where I am now. And I'm more or less, and then I'm going that way. You see this ridge wall? The trail I took up is on the other side. What I'm doing now is I'm more or less paralleling my track up here, which is cool because I like a loop trail, and this is really turning into a loop trail because I'm going back in the direction I want to go, but I'm not just back on the same trail I was, so you're seeing all different stuff. So we're just taking a little break. Oh, taking a little break here. Here's my water, nice and orange. Look at that. You can buy also the stuff at Walmart. I didn't bother. You can buy the stuff at Walmart. There's 2 bottles. One bottle for the treatment and another bottle to take the orange color out. Well, I'm not particularly worried about taking the orange color out. So let's see what this tastes like. Not bad. It's got a it tastes the closest thing I can compare it to, it tastes like tap water. It doesn't taste bad at all. It doesn't taste like spring water. The closest thing I can compare it to, that tastes like the water that comes out of my kitchen tap. Huh, that's odd. So anyway, I'm taking a little break here, and I'm just going to keep heading that way and see where the trail takes me. I said back there, it's going to see where the trail takes me. That's just it. When I calmed down at the cut, I found another trail. And it's taking me northeast. It's exactly the way I want to go because I'm pretty much paralleling my track up here. Climbing down through, I mean, this creek is still flowing here. Got between, got walls on either side, not particularly high. There's some people up on the rocks there. I lost sight of them. But let's see where this trail goes that I'm following. I'm at another place over here where the trail splits. We've got one trail going here to the north, and it's going to go back, I'm sure, to the other trail. And then there's a trail that comes through and heads south. Is this that trail, what I'm calling the Treasure Lake Trail? I'm not sure if this is the one. I can tell I'm going to come out here again on Friday. Or, what's today? Today's Thursday. I'm going to come out here again on Saturday. And I'm going to, wherever I intersect the trail is where I'm going to come back in. I'm going to hike down there. Because there's even a couple places where you can get up on the rocks if you want to without too much trouble. So, right now I'm heading on back. It's lunchtime. And This is, oh man, this is just, I came from this direction. And I'm going to hike back in there in a couple of days. Well, I came from back over in this direction. Friday, I'm going to hike back just into that draw there and just see where that goes. Because I'm not recognizing any of this. I'm headed this direction. You can see the trail. That's where I'm going. It wouldn't take a lot. Actually, it'd be fairly easy. Just to hike down into there. There's places back there you can go and just hike up over that. That wouldn't be hard at all. There's people up on those rocks. Now that's a bit. I saw them scaling one thing there where it wouldn't take a lot to die. I'm not quite that extreme. Anyway, I'm going this way, but oh man, this is a place I'm keeping all my GPS tracks from here. I'm keeping them. I'll archive them. When I come back out here, I can pull them back up, and I can hike the same track if I want to. Oh man, this is just ultra cool. I'm headed that way. I just hiked past a whole bunch of day trippers, you know, a family with kids, you know, so obviously I'm back on. I haven't been on this trail before. It's going to come out, I guess, by that sunset pool there, by where you start Elk Mountain. Although I haven't been on this particular trail before, but I just passed a half dozen just little family day hikers. They aren't even carrying backpacks, you know, so I'm coming back here on Friday. And I'm just going to keep heading south into that cut and see where it goes. For now, I'm going to go home, go back to camp, eat something, rest a bit, and I think I'm going to go over and do that Dog's Hollow run. I haven't done that before either. It's more of a grassland walk by the looks of it, but might be a good place to put down some miles. Because all I've done so far, I've been out here 3 hours, and it's been a great hike. But I'm at 3.4 miles. That's all. 3.4 miles in 3 hours. Just because it's been up and down and climbing, you know, and it's been great, but it's just not some place where you put down tons of miles real fast. I'm actually back on that trail I took just starting out. Heading into Sharon's Garden. I didn't even realize where I got back on the trail until I looked at the GPS and saw that I was back on it, and here I am back at this point. So, of course I've got it on GPS to be able to find it, but I mean, this is where I was. There's Tony, that's the trail that goes to Treasure Lake, and then that one there that goes up, I don't know, and that one goes back into Sharon's Garden, but there's a point where the trail took off to the south, and I didn't see it on the way in. But I'll take a look for it on Friday. I'll be back out, or excuse me, on Saturday. I'll be back out here. But for now, I'm just hiking out. We're back at this point here. There's no reason to shoot any more video here. I'll get back to the front and I'll tell you how many miles I did. I'm at this Dog Run Hollow Trail system. And I'm going to try it. I haven't been out here before. I don't know if it's going to make a great video because I think when you get up here, it looks like it's mostly just prairie walking. So, actually, I just got done over there at Sharon's Garden. I was going to take a break for a while. I went back and made some sandwiches, and I was sitting there, and I just got restless. Decided I'd rather just go ahead and keep going. I was going to wait till about 4 o'clock and then go for a couple hours, but I decided I'd rather just go ahead and hike now and rest tonight. Because I've got another long hike planned for tomorrow into the hills to the south. So I'm going to go ahead and try this Dog Run Hollow. I haven't been out here before. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, a great video, but it seemed like a good place to put down some miles because it took me, you know, I spent 3.5 hours this morning there in Sharon's Garden, did 4.32 miles. I need to do more than that. So anyway, this is Lost Lake. I'm going to follow this back in here, and if I see something, you know, I don't know, we'll see. This is Lost Lake here with the dam. The map's a little unclear where you're supposed to go to access most of the trails, but I think you have to cross the creek here. So here's the dam. Little thing here. Oh, shoot. Should have paused this. You can see that. Erected 1926, Lost Lake Dam. Lawton's contribution to the playground of the Southwest is what that says. Hopefully you can hear what I just said. The dam was constructed in 1926. So it's an old dam. Mostly made out of, looks like it's made out of cement and cobblestones. And that's where I'm headed, back in there. I'm over here by the creek, about a half mile in. I found a seam here in the granite with this seam of quartz running through it, and then over here there's a lot more quartz. It's nothing like that big outcrop over in Sharon's garden, not nearly that big, but you know, that's quite a bit of quartz coming out of the rock there. I came down here because for the first time using that water treatment, I actually need it. Because I got 2 bottles of water with me, but I found right at the beginning when I started walking that I was already very thirsty. And I might do quite a few miles in here, so I went ahead and walked down to the creek right here below this dam. They got a number of these little dams. And downed a bottle of water and filled up from the creek. And I'm purifying a bottle of water there from the creek. And that was just absolutely crystal clear too, but I'm purifying that. And I can say for the first time that I'm using that one, I actually really need it, because when you're really thirsty right at the beginning, I mean, you're just starting, and it's 70 degrees. It's not that hot, but it's sunny, and I've already done quite a few miles. So there you go. Went ahead and just downed a bottle of water and purifying another bottle. Be ready to go when I need it. I got 2 bottles, so now I've drank one and I've still got 2. This isn't a bad area. I mean, it's wide open, but it's not prairie or just grassland. It's this stuff again. Now, I'm not on the trail. Trail's down there close to the edge. The problem with the trail is it's so worn that it's just cut into the ground between all the rocks, and it's just too, footings. I mean, I'd rather walk up here. At least here between the rocks, it's just flat ground. Rather than walk on the trail, I'm paralleling the trail. But I'd rather not walk on the trail that's just so cut into the ground from all the traffic that, it's hard. I'd rather walk up here a few yards above the trail. You're go anywhere you want in here. And still got all the rocks. I mean, this is what makes hiking out here in a lot of places. Anytime you go up a little baldy or out there, I've showed you that. This is what you're hiking on. Following some of the, so like here, I'm actually on a buffalo trail. I know it's a buffalo trail because there's a buffalo footprint. So that's actually what I'm going to look for. I'm not going to follow the people trail. I'm going up here and look for the buffalo trails and follow their trails. But I'm going to stay fairly close to that, to the edge of the water there. It's pretty cool. That's some nice views. But you got to keep your eyes on the ground walking here. And it's worse down on the people trail. It's just so rutted. It's dangerous. I came across the people trail again by chance, and in this section it's actually pretty decent. There's just that one section back there. maybe it also acts as a water channel that makes it right. Although, you can take a look around. I mean, lots of rocks. But it's all just wide open. I mean, it's just a big dome. I call it a dome, not a very big dome, but I mean, there's no trees to speak of out here in the middle of this. It's just sort of mountains. I did, when I was here and did that 5 mile I mean, you see, it's just wide open. You could hike, anywhere in here you want. But keep your eyes on the ground. Oh, look at there. Did I get him? Yeah, I got him. That was just pure chance. I just saw his shadow fly over when I started the video. Well, this isn't just open grass prairie walking that I had pictured. Looks like it's going down here into the trees. And you got the hills here. This might turn out to be more interesting than I thought. There's Elk Mountain right there. So, I'm a couple miles in, and I'm headed west. Well, this ain't bad here. Doing some forest walking. Got out of the granite prairie next to the creek here and just doing some pretty easy forest walking. You got you got granite boulders in here, but it's a lot different than hiking out there in the prairie. Got even a little bit of shade. I don't mind the shade. It's a bit warm. It's nice to have some water here, and that looks pretty clear. So I'm getting thirsty again. I may go ahead and down that. This is pretty in here. I may go ahead and down that ball of water that I was purifying and get another one going. Alright. I started. Where the hell did I start? Over here. Went up across the dam. I'm here now. I admit I didn't follow this. I cut across here. I cut off a small section of the loop here. I'm hiking over to here. Or actually, this is where I am now. I'm going to the Buffalo Trail. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. There's Longhorn Trail and Buffalo Trail, Elk Trail. Elk Trail's over here. But I'm going to just hike down south and make my way back. I'm 2 miles in right now. Might be a little more if I hadn't cut off a small section over here. But down to here and then follow this back. And I'm going to head on back. I will say I've actually enjoyed this last part here through the woods. Some shade, get away from some of the boulders. It's not been bad. And then now I'm going this way. You can keep going that way. It's probably an extra mile if you go that way. But I'm going to go up there and cut through and head on back. But I actually enjoy this part here better than just hiking through the boulders back there. But the whole thing has actually been better than I expected. I see this pit here. This is just right by. I wonder if this is like, it was one of those mines that Ranger Randy was showing me over there, because it's a circular pit that they've dug out, and you see lots of, lots of this stuff around. So I wonder if this is one of those mines. It looks just like the other one. I mean, why else would they dig it out? That's my guess. Is they saw the quartz and all this and dug it out looking for gold. Interesting. I'm starting to develop a bit of an affection for this trail, just because it's a change of pace. You know, you had the woods, and now you've got, kind of had to climb for a couple of 100 feet from the sign back there to get to the top of this little ridge, but now, and it's a bit rocky going up, but now it's descending nice and smooth. It's open, it's in trees. You know, I mean, it's... I'm actually kind of liking this. I didn't, you know, I've never done this part before because it didn't really look all that, you know, interesting, but hey, it's a nice change of pace. I'm kind of enjoying it. Well, I'll say this Dogs Run Hollow trail system, it's coming from there. I like it. I didn't think I didn't think it'd be bad, but you know, I didn't think it'd be really all that enjoyable. Actually, it's quite a lot of fun. Just because it's different from all the other hiking that you do out here. You know, well, this isn't hiking. This is just a nice place to come out and just do some walking. It's really just a walking trail. Yeah, I'm coming up on another sign here. Okay, so started here, across the bridge. I cut across a small section right there, but I went to here, then down to here, and that's where I am now. Now headed back. But I like this place. Next time I'm out here, you know, when I have time, this is something I would definitely do again. I like this trail. This because it's just a good place to put down some miles. It's not too hard. I had to start a little snippet of video over again there. Partly because I had to change the batteries. Then I started it up again and I said a naughty word. So I had to delete that. So one thing about these lithium batteries, they may last a while, but when they die, they just drop dead suddenly. You don't really get any warning. I'll say those Inaloop batteries lasted just as long as the lithiums I had in there. The Sanyo Inaloop rechargeable batteries. I'm going to buy more of those and buy a little car charger too. But what I was saying is, I like this trail. Well, that's what I was saying. I like this trail. I'm going to do this again. Not this week, but when I have time, I'll definitely come out and do this trail again. I'm getting back into the granite over here. There's one part where you had to descend down off that, We had to descend from the hill over there. It was a fairly steep set of switchbacks, about 50 feet in descent, you know, little. That's the only part I've found that's, you know, not just real walking. What I like about this trail is there's a variety of different, you know, kinds of. First part is just open walking through really granite, you know, but otherwise it's barren. Then you walk through woods. Then you walk through kind of just like grassland and glades. Now you're back here to the granite, but it's more the granite slabs rather than just little boulders with woods around. Several different little things that you walk through. You know, it's not boring. You know, I'm glad I decided to do this. I like this one. So, yeah, this is definitely a good place to hike, because particularly if you want to, you know, really put down some miles. You know, I will say though, this Buffalo Trail is supposed to be 8 miles around. I'm probably going to end up doing about 5 of it. Oh, and also, when I said I was going to leave the trail and go over the hill, I'm actually following a kind of halfway trail. Obviously, I'm not the only person that came to that point and said, "Hey, I'm going east." So, this Buffalo Trail is 8 miles around if you do the whole thing, and I'd like to, but I want to do it on a day where I can just start fresh. But I already did 4.3 over at Sharon's Garden, and didn't even rest half an hour before coming out here and doing this. So I'm cheating a bit, but I would like to come back. Next time I do this, I will just start this first thing in the morning, and I'll do the whole 8 miles, you know, because I do like this trail. There's parts where it should be better marked. A couple parts about 3/4 of the way in where I got off the trail at one point without even realizing it. It's just, it gets on rocks and it disappears and they don't put enough signs. So, but still, it's a good trail. There's another place in here I was wanting to check out, and I'm looking at right now. It's the thing called the Narrows. I don't have a good vantage point where I am. I'm back on the trail, by the way. I want to tell you what. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to walk over here where I can see it. Well, this is a thing called the Narrows. It's a canyon that goes back in here. Really steep walls. But looking down at it, I don't see how you would go back in there without having to scale kind of the sides. I mean, I really don't see it. I've been told you could do it, but I'm not sure how. I mean, because I don't see, without having to really do some risky stuff on the sides, how you would do it. The problem is, it's not very long. I mean, it doesn't go very far, so it's not like it'd be a destination. I mean, it's just, the thing's not what, half a mile, because I can see where it's even over there. And on the map, you can look at it. And it's just a little tiny. You know, it's about 1 inch long on the map. There's not much to it, but it looks cool. I'm gonna follow the trail on up here and the regular trail I've been on, and because it looks like it might circle around to get a better vantage point. Actually, I decided to go ahead and climb down into this thing. There was a trail going down. It wasn't very hard. And see, there's a group that was just right where they are, and they hiked up over there. I'm gonna see if I can't get over there myself. Why? Because it's a much shorter route. And I'm actually ready to get back to my truck. Well, for one thing, I'm ready to get back to my truck. It's a shorter route, but who's going to pass up the opportunity to climb down inside this thing, you know? So, let me pause this. Well, I can't say I saved probably a ton of time by going through the canyon instead of going down. I was up there, and you see where it, on the opposite where it drops away, down to the water. And then I climbed up these rocks here to get where I am now. I say I probably didn't save much in the way of time, but it's not just about saving time. I mean, it's about climbing down into the canyon like that. It's cool, you know. The only part I had trouble with is there's a couple places down there where the rocks have been worn very smooth by the movement of water, and they were slick in a couple places, but no big deal. So now, yeah, definitely I'm headed to my truck. I'm tired, I'm done for the day. Well, I'm not done for the day, but I'll be done for the day when I get back to my truck. I was mistaken when I referred to that canyon as the Narrows. It's in roughly the same area, but that's not the Narrows. The Narrows is farther southeast, and I might try that tomorrow. It's another, well, it's at the Narrow Canyon. That's why it's called the Narrows. But that, what I came upon today was not the Narrows. That was just another narrow canyon. I'm tired. Once I got out of that canyon, I didn't stick to any trails. With my GPS, I could see my truck was not far away. And the trails kept running. My truck would be like straight ahead, and the trails kept running east and west. So I just went overland, you know, which was easy enough to do, and got back to my truck. I got back to my truck, and I looked at the GPS. It said I was at 4.99 miles. So I walked around in the parking lot a little bit there until it hit 5, and then I turned the GPS off. So that's about 9.4 miles today. A lot of it pretty rough, you know, well, not rough, but I put in some work today. That's 25, I only did 5 miles yesterday, but I did 11 the day before. So that's better than 25 miles in the last 3 days, and then I've got a big day planned tomorrow. So it's what's 5 o'clock? It's just after 5. Sun sets in about 2.5 hours. I'm going to sit here for a bit and rest, and then I'm going to get up and I'd gathered some firewood, just stuff, there's lots of stuff to pick up off the ground here that's still left over from the ice storm. So I'm going to cut up a bunch of firewood, and here in a couple of hours I'll start me a fire and make a little dinner and just sit in front of my fire until about 10 o'clock. Then go to bed and get up and start hiking again. I mean, I said I was going to do this as a video journal of the week, and I end up, it's not really working out so well that way. I'm still covering hikes, but when I post it, when I post these videos on YouTube, it won't be, well, you're already going to see before as I'm saying this, I'm going to post it as like day 1 and 2 or day 3 and 4. I'll group it by days instead of by hikes. But it's 76 degrees right now, and I probably got a sunburn on the back of my neck. I've been out in the sun all day. I won't mind once the sun goes down, this 76 is going to feel very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and hang this up. I don't know if I'm not going to do much else today other than what I just said. I tell you, the campground is, they say it's spring break in Texas, and today it's Thursday. I don't know what the deal is about Thursday, but this place is packed. There's not an empty spot anywhere. I mean, people are just pouring in here. It's weird. This is the busiest day I've seen it, and I've been here. This is my 5th day. So, I don't know. I'll see you probably tomorrow morning. Be my next check-in.